This is the great white hope, Luka Skywalker.
Luka is the great white hope. I can agree with you on that perspective. Like he's absolutely the great white hope. Jokic is not that, and he's a 2-time MVP now. He is not that. I think that he's like a guy that his game won't be appreciated as much as it should until his career is over, because we are witnessing. I remember as a kid watching the Lakers and the Blazers. Arvydas Sabonis was somebody that used to get talked about so much because he's a Euro legend. And then he came to the NBA later in his career. Arvydas Sabonis, he had like this, I guess, this Akeem Olajuwon type play. And obviously, like, great passer. Like Pau Gasol, like all the Euro guys can pass. Jokic is an excellent passer. He might be a better passer than all of them. I've seen this guy make full court passes. Inbound from one end passes. Like he makes these passes. He can bring the ball up court. He can shoot the three, something that Akeem and Sabonis and Powell could not do. They weren't three-point shooters. I bet Jokic, we can look it up, but Jokic, I bet his three-point percentage is over 35%. And he's 7 feet tall. Like, his game is appreciated. Luka is just 23. And I get your standing on Luka. Luka is a guy that, plays the game a certain way and has his entire career. And you believe that he's just peaked now and that his prime will last another 5 or 6 years, but it won't improve to where he gets to this LeBron. How LeBron every year improved. And we saw the difference in LeBron's game. LeBron used to couldn't shoot the ball. Now,
Lakers
at the 3-point line.
Lakers 2020 LeBron was not the athlete that Miami Heat LeBron was.
And we know that's the best LeBron.
But he was a better player. Maybe his best was in Cleveland the second time, because because the shooting was good enough with the athleticism. But I think Luka is in his prime for the next 10 years. I just don't think
you just says the numbers are going to be the same.
Yes. I just don't think he improves like most players improve.
He have a 37, 10, and 9 year where he wins MVP and Finals MVP and a title.
Hey, keep talking. Luke. I got to piss.
All I'm saying is this. With a guy like Luka Doncic, Luka is something to not be taken lightly. And I feel like on your end, Lee, that you're taking him lightly. You're acting as if, he's got to win a championship at 23 in order to be considered as great as he is. And that just isn't the case. And we've got to dispel that. We have to dispel the idea of Luka being a player that's greatness is tied to a championship. He's 23 years old. He's in his 4th year in the NBA. He's went to the playoffs 3 out of 4 years, and he's reached the Western Conference Finals, albeit they got blown out, right? They got blown out, but at the end of the day, that doesn't define Luka right now. Let's just talk about what Luka is. We can't look at Luka as this guy that is larger than life, because he's not yet. But at the same time, Luka is still a great player. And I feel like that is the issue with anyone that's not the media, because the media does kiss Luka's ass, right? Can't we agree that the media kisses Luka's ass? Yes. But at the same time, is it warranted? And that's the biggest thing. It is warranted. It's warranted that we kiss Luka's ass.
It's definitely not. He's definitely not. He got to do more for me.
No. I'm saying, see, you didn't hear everything I said before.
I didn't.
It's warranted that the media kisses his ass because he's doing this stuff at 23 and he's in year 4. He is still doing great things. Like, let's not act like, and I think your boy that's in the league, Hackney, in the post that you tagged earlier. Wayne said it best. That's why I like this comment. I didn't even have to respond to what you tagged me in, because he encompassed everything that would be said. Basically, your opinion of it is that if you aren't Steph Curry, Giannis, LeBron, and it was one more player he named, if you aren't one of these 4 guys in the NBA, then essentially you can't be great without a title. And it's just like, I mean, that's what it sounds like. It sounds.
So let me kind of talk about that because
did Trey get his flowers too early because of what he did last year, and then because this was the Hawks?
So that's kind of where I'm going with it. I think that the conversation about what Luka does and what Trey does and who they are in the league are too far away from one another for what's been accomplished, right? And when you think about Luka gets to be in the Magic, Bird, LeBron conversations. And I go, I need more from him before we put him in this conversation because he's James Harden to me right now.
Okay.
And I think he should be put into, I think Luka's a superstar. I think he's top tier superstar. But I don't like him being considered an all-timer without the pelts on the wall. Remember, LeBron was loved until he wasn't. Like people say, LeBron got swept in 07 in the finals. Michael Jordan would never. Bullshit. You see what LeBron played against? Him getting there is an accomplishment. Just like we don't beat up on AI for not winning a ring. We give him props for the 01 season. Why? Because he overachieved. But we also know that AI was a dog, a great player, an all-timer.
I test.
But he's not a Mount Rushmore guy. And he's in nobody's basketball Mount Rushmore. So we're putting Luka in the conversation with the Mount Rushmore guys. Mm-hmm. And he hasn't done enough for me to just comfortably put him in that conversation. And I hate that when I try to contextualize it that way, that is anti-Luka. But Luka, win the MVP.
But you're going off of guys like Nick Wright, like guys like
Bill Simmons. I'm talking about the guys. I'm talking about the guys who have the loudest voices.
Bill Simmons in the sports world at this point might as well be racist. I mean,
Bill Simmons is racist. Skip Bayless.
He eggs on Boston-based product and white players. I mean, like you said, Bill Simmons has lost his fastball because he used to be, Bill Simmons' columns. I used to love reading Bill Simmons' columns.
I think it's so hurtful that even with the podcast stuff, like after he got that Spotify bag, he stopped watching games. I'm convinced he doesn't watch games anymore. But I'm saying all of that to say we're speaking to the loud. I speak to the loudest voices in sports because those are the voices that I listen to. And I go, bruh, y'all are making Colin Cowherd seem like he's the reasonable one here today. Like, Skip is like pump the brakes on Luka.
Hot take Tommy.
Huh?
I said Colin is low-key a hot take Tommy.
He is, but he opens with hot takes, and then if you get to the meat of the show, it's actually he has perspective. And Colin is what, let me tell you about Colin, because I listen to Colin every day. You have to listen to Colin every day to know the difference between him making the show do numbers and Colin speaking on how he truly feels. But that's another conversation. But I'm happy we're sitting here because, I think Luka's great. I think he's one of the best players in the league. But what is he doing? Why do we talk about him and Trey in different stratospheres when the result
has been now the same? Technically,
it's been roughly the same. And Trey just led the league in total points and total assists. Now, do I think Trey plays winning basketball?
Luka has less help, and that's just the truth. The Hawks definitely, from a personnel standpoint, no, not personnel, talent. The Hawks are more talented than the Mavericks, in my opinion. Not because of what we saw last year, but because
no.
Those guys are better. Like, I would Dallas has built a team that, depending on who they're playing, matchup-wise, is bad because they can shoot the three well and they play defense. And Luka is the only actual guy. Like, I feel like Trey doesn't have to necessarily be that guy sometimes. Like when we saw it, because Game 7 Herter against Philly broke hearts, 27-7 in Philly. He was the guy that really he stepped up, and he had the biggest game in that game. He was the guy that got interviewed after that win. So,
we saw Brunson
with Luka. Like Luka doesn't. Even if Dorian Finney-Smith has 24 and 6,
it's catch and shoot.
Or Kleber is 6 of 8 from 3, and he's got 25. Luka is still constantly putting up 30. And I think that for your argument's sake, at least, when Luka had 27 at halftime against the Suns in Game 7, on the road, mind you, against a team that went to the finals, the defending Western Conference champs, and the best record in the league, he scored as many points as the team did. I mean, come on. We can't deny this anymore. Like, no. We can't deny this
anymore.
I don't
– and that's what, again, what gets lost in the conclusion is that I think a lot of times –
like Trey didn't show up against Miami this year.
No, he didn't. People don't follow the path to the conclusion, right? And I'm not Nick Wright. I'm not Skip Bayless. I don't have take integrity. I don't say, hey, I felt this way on Tuesday, so I feel this way on Thursday. If Luka wins the championship this year, I now say that you can dominate the basketball and play with spare parts to win a championship because it's been proven. You know what I mean? I may say that, hey, what Luka did was an outlier, but because it's an outlier, you got to put him in the conversation with the greats. You know what I mean? Like, I let what's playing out in front of me drive where I go. So, yeah, I stand on this Luka hill. Yeah, I stand on this Jokic hill. Yes, I stand on the Russell Wilson hill. But if Russ goes out and wins 14 games and he throws for 5,000 yards and 45 touchdowns and they get to even just the AFC Championship, I was wrong on Russell Wilson.
Right.
And to the Trey thing, Trey has more help, but I think Luka has more complementary help.
And that's why I changed what I said. I originally said personnel, but personnel-wise, it fits Luka so much better.
Yes.
And I think that with Trey's personnel, it's not that he has more talent for sure, but I don't know if the personnel fits his game as well as the Mavericks have set up Luka's.
And that's the thing. Like, we got rid of Cam Reddish not because Cam Reddish could not be a 3-and-D guy. It's because Cam Reddish did not want to be just a 3-and-D guy. And he's represented by Rich Paul. So, you know, if you're represented by Rich Paul, you're automatically a problem. You don't want to be a team player. You just want money.
Cam Reddish, in comparison to the rest of the guys on that Hawks roster, you have to think to yourself, they didn't really have the team. Like for him, he doesn't really personality-wise, based on what you kind of know about, he doesn't really fit that Hawks team because everybody kind of concedes, okay, it's Trey's team. We're young, but we're good too. And Cam Reddish seems like a guy to where when he was in and when he did do well, he is like, yeah, like this is my team to a degree. Like basically, if they give me the opportunity, I can be the guy as well.
Remember, coming out of high school, it was RJ1, Cam 2, Zion 3.
Yeah.
And I feel like Cam felt marginalized because he was the off-the-ball guy at Duke. So, yeah, I go top 10, but I'm better than that. Y'all just didn't see me work. And I went to Game 6 against the Bucks last year. Cam was the only person who showed up trying to win. And he balled. So I understand where Cam's like, hey, if I get the touches, if I get the opportunity, I can be that guy.